Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, checking your phone, and seeing that everyone is talking about a new digital asset or a financial trend. The prices are skyrocketing. People with no background in finance are suddenly making millions of dollars overnight. Your neighbor just bought a luxury car. Your coworker just resigned because they became wealthy in a matter of weeks. Everywhere you look on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, everyone is celebrating. They are all inside a golden room of prosperity, and you are standing outside, alone in the cold. A sudden, sharp panic hits your chest. Your heart starts beating faster. It's not just a desire to be rich, it's a terrifying, suffocating fear. The fear that the world is moving forward without you. The fear that you are missing out on the only opportunity that matters. In that state of panic, your logic shuts down. You take your hard-earned savings, money meant for your rent, and you throw it into the trend at the absolute peak of the bubble. You know it's risky. You know it makes no sense, but you do it anyway. And just days later, the bubble bursts, the market crashes, the crowd vanishes, and you are left ruined, staring at a screen, wondering, what came over me? Welcome to Human Secrets. Today, we unlock one of the most powerful and dangerous glitches in the human operating system, the psychology of mass hysteria and the manipulative power of FOMO. We are going to travel through history, from the bizarre plagues of the medieval world to the financial traps of the 21st century, to reveal the hidden neural mechanisms behind why rational individuals completely lose their minds the moment they join a crowd. To understand how deep this flaw runs in our nature, we have to travel back to the year 1636 in the Netherlands. This was the golden age of the Dutch Republic, one of the most intellectually advanced and economically powerful societies on earth. The Dutch were pragmatic, sharp, and rational merchants. Yet, in this highly educated society, a strange madness began to bloom. The catalyst wasn't gold, land, or power. It was a flower, the tulip. When tulips were first imported from the Ottoman Empire, they became a status symbol for the ultra-wealthy due to their unique, vibrant colors. But slowly, the psychological contagion began to spread from the elite to the common people. People noticed that the price of tulip bulbs was rising every single week. Suddenly, the focus shifted from beauty to sheer madness of profit. By late 1636, the Netherlands entered a state of complete mass hysteria. A single tulip bulb of a rare variety was being traded for the price of a luxury mansion, or the equivalent of 12 acres of land. People sold their homes, their businesses, and their family heirlooms just to buy a single bulb, purely because they saw everyone else doing it. They believed the prices would go up forever. They were terrified of being the only ones left behind. This was the birth of a FOMO, a fear of missing out long before the internet existed. Then, in February 1637, reality finally arrived. At an auction in Haarlem, a buyer simply refused to show up and pay. A tiny whisper of doubt rippled through the room. That whisper turned into a cold sweat. Within days, panic spread like a wildfire. Everyone tried to sell their tulips at the same time, but there were no buyers. The market completely evaporated. Wealth that existed only on paper vanished into thin air. Noblemen became beggars overnight. An entire superpower was thrown into an economic depression. How did brilliant merchants allow themselves to be destroyed by a flower? Why does human logic completely evaporate when the crowd starts running in the same direction? To uncover the secret behind this madness, we must look into evolutionary psychology and the dark mechanics of the human brain. For 99% of human history, our ancestors did not live in modern cities with laws and smartphones. They lived in small, vulnerable tribes on the dangerous savannas. In that primitive world, isolation meant certain death. If the tribe suddenly started running away in fear, you didn't stop to analyze the environment or ask questions. If you stopped to look for the tiger, you were eaten. If the tribe found a new fruit tree, you ran with them. Terefore. Evolution hardwired two powerful survival mechanisms into our brains. The herd mentality and the scarcity instinct. When you experience FOMO today, your modern brain is misinterpreting an ancient survival signal. When you see a crowd on social media rush us toward a trend, your amygdala, the emotional alarm system, fires a warning. It screams, the tribe is moving. You are being left behind. You are in danger of isolation. This primitive alarm floods your system with cortisol and adrenaline, effectively bypassing your logical prefrontal cortex. Your brain stops asking, "Is this investment logical?" Instead, it asks a much more primal question. How do I survive this stampede? Furthermore, mass hysteria is fueled by emotional contagion. Humans are biologically designed to mirror the emotions of those around them. If you stand in a room full of panicked people, your body will physically begin to experience panic, even if you don't know why. FOMO is a psychological virus. It uses social networks as a superspreader event, infecting millions of minds simultaneously. It turns rational individuals into a single, blind, stampeding animal. In the 21st century, the architecture of our digital world has turned this evolutionary flaw into a weaponized industry. Today, mass hysteria is no longer an accidental historical event. It is a highly engineered corporate strategy. Think about how modern algorithms work. Social media platforms do not show you the objective truth of the world. They show you whatever causes the highest emotional arousal. And nothing causes higher emotional arousal than envy, greed, and the fear of missing out. When you scroll through your feed and see a manufactured trend, you are seeing a hyper-inflated version of reality. Companies and influencers use scarcity tactics, limited time offer, only 5 spots left. Join the top 1% before the door closes. They are deliberately triggering your primitive scarcity instinct. They want to force your brain into that state of panic where logic shuts down. We see this in modern stock markets, cryptocurrency bubbles, and even consumer panics like people rushing to empty grocery store shelves. It is the tulip mania, replayed on an iPhone screen at the speed of light. When you join the mass hysteria, you give up your most valuable asset, your individuality. In a crowd, responsibility is diffused. You feel safe doing something foolish because millions of others are doing it with you. But here is the brutal truth. The crowd always runs off the cliff together, but you will hit the rocks entirely alone. The financial ruin, regret, and mental exhaustion will not be shared by the herd. They will belong to you, and you alone. The ultimate secret of human behavior is that the greatest threat to your intelligence is not a lack of information, but the overwhelming pull of the herd. True emotional intelligence and psychological resilience do not mean knowing everything. It means having the courage to stand completely still while the rest of the world is running in a panic. If you want to protect your mind from the dark power of mass hysteria, you must build a psychological firewall. First, implement the 24-hour rule for FOMO. Whenever you feel that sudden, urgent panic that you must buy something, join a trend, or make a decision right now because time is running out. Force yourself to disconnect for 24 hours. Sleep on it. Step away from the screen. Walk into nature. Give your prefrontal cortex time to wake up. Lower the cortisol and override the primitive alarm of the amygdala. Real opportunities rarely disappear in 24 hours. Traps require immediate compliance. Second, practice the joy of missing out. Shift your perspective. When you see everyone running toward a trend, don't feel left behind. Fear? Relieve it. Understand that, while they are giving up their logic to become part of a blind collective mind, you are maintaining the highest luxury, your critical thinking and your inner peace. Stop running with the herd. Stand still, look at the stampede, and see it for what it truly is. A beautifully designed illusion. Thank you for watching this deep dive into the hidden patterns of humanity. If this video helped you see the world more clearly, make sure to subscribe to Human Secrets and hit the notification bell. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. What was the biggest tulip bubble you almost fell into? And how did you survive it? Stay independent, stay still, and we will see you in the next chapter.